Now we're very happy to welcome Reverend Ev.
Good morning. Happy Sunday. Thank you so much for your warm invitation. I am forever grateful for Nick, Joseph, all the prayer chaplains, and all the community members for inviting me. Thank you, Ted, and thank you, Myers, for such a beautiful opening and grounding our service today. Whenever I return back to New Thought Spiritual Center, I always feel like I'm at home because, as Joseph mentioned, this is where I started. So thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm so grateful. In the song that we just heard, Raising the Veil, written by Daniel Nahmad, it's a song that affirms what our power is, but it's also a song of how to use our power, especially in those turning points in our life when we just don't understand why. Why is this happening? Why has this happened? Why am I going through this? And in that song, there's some lyrics that are very powerful. And those lyrics are, there is no separation between me and my God. And in that same statement and in those same lyrics, it implies separation, me and my God. And it's okay for us to feel that separation because at times when we are going through a turning point, we are seeking for something greater than the limitation that we are experiencing, whether that is a limitation in our mind or a limitation in the physical realm. We are seeking a higher understanding. So it's okay to reach out for a friend. That's seeking outside of ourselves. It's okay for us to seek a God if we believe that's outside of ourselves too, because in that moment, we are seeking hope. And in seeking hope, we are seeking the essence and presence of God. And as we're seeking all of that, we're recognizing that God is everywhere, everywhere. It's within, it's here, it's everywhere. And so, in New Thought and in Unity, we believe that we are one with God. And so, when we interpret those lyrics, there is no separation between me and my God. We're referring to God experiences. So, there is no separation between me and my God experiences because they're right in our heart. There is no separation. They're right in our heart because that's the starting point of our connection, the starting point of our understanding, and that is power. The reason why it's important for us to recognize that we are one with our God experiences is so that in those turning points, we can seek God, like the song affirms. And especially when we feel like we're down on our knees or when we're trying to seek help and yet there's no understanding and we're calling forth, God, I want to see you. God, I want to know you. God, I want to praise you. And so, what we are affirming in that moment is a calling for our inner guidance, for our intuition, for our insight to come forward. We want to see God in this experience. We want to see God in what we don't understand. And in all of that, we shift our consciousness from the poor me mentality to understanding a greater heart understanding of why this is happening. Why is this happening right now? I know the pandemic for the last couple of years has given us the opportunity to not only feel sorry for ourselves and for our world and our community, but it has also been a curriculum to reveal the greatness of what we are, to reveal those God moments in the things that we don't understand. So, how do we tap into that heart of understanding? How do we tap into the power that we already are? Well, there's prayer and there's meditation, but there's also a power that we have with our thoughts and feelings. And that allows us to shift our consciousness. So, we can shift our consciousness with our thoughts and feelings. There's a comedian by George Carlin, and he has this great quote. And I love this quote because it gives us the tools to tap into that power, to tap into our heart, to tap in to seeing God experiences in everything. And that quote is as follows: some people see things that are and ask, why? Some people dream of things that never were and ask, why not? Some people go to work and don't have any time for any of that. So as we breathe into that inspired quote, and we break it down apart to apply it into a practical format where we can shift our consciousness. We look at that first sentence. Some people see things that are and ask why. So as we put this into practice of tapping into that infinite intelligence, the power that we already are, let's put it into practice by thinking of something ordinary in our own life. And maybe so that we can all come together into an understanding, let's just think of something ordinary like the sky, right? We wake up every morning, we go to work, we do our daily tasks. But what if we were to pause, look at the sky, and wonder, why? Why is the sky blue today? Why is the sky pink or yellow or orange today? And as we expand our awareness of the sky, something that is ordinary in our own life, we start to ask that why, the why from wonder, not the why from poor me, but what makes this ordinary sky extraordinary? And as we wonder and ponder and explore, we start to feel a sense of appreciation for something ordinary like the sky. We feel a sense of gratitude. And if we're so connected in wondering why this beautiful sky is beautiful, then we become immersed in oneness, where our doubt and worry may disappear for that present moment. And that experience is tapping into our heart, is tapping to the power that we already have in our heart. And the reason why this is important for us is because as we are going through our own personal journey, there might be things that seem ordinary and we're good at it, but we just don't think of them anymore because it's become part of our innate way of being. But what if we were to stop and appreciate all those ordinary things that we do? Maybe we would feel more compassionate about ourselves, about our world, about the craft or the ideas that we're manifesting. Maybe we would feel more energized, more motivation to keep going, even when the world tells us we're going in a different direction. So now we look into a practical idea. I like to go into one of my own examples. One of my own examples of something ordinary is, and maybe you can relate to this, is washing dishes. I don't like to wash dishes. However, I happen to find the extraordinary in that ordinary, meaning that when I'm washing dishes, I think about that why. I think about that why. I wash the dishes because I will have clean plates. If I have clean plates, that means I have food. I have food to put on those plates. And if I have food and I'm nourishing myself, then that is enriching my life by recognizing that I have value, that my body is worthy enough to be nourished. So that shifts us to a higher consciousness. So that is an ordinary example. The second phrase of George Carlin's quote is, some people dream of things that never were and ask, why not? Well, the reason why this is important for us is because sometimes in our life, as we're going through our journey, we might have a rejection. We might have an outcome or a result that we just never envisioned. We may be disappointed. So in that turning point, we can ask ourselves, well, why not create something better? Why not create something more exciting and meaningful because I have learned what doesn't work? So that is tapping into our higher understanding, to our power. So if we're not doing either of the two, of asking why and why not, then we fall into that last sentence that George Carlin refers to. Some people go to work and don't have time for all of that. So as we reflect on this wisdom, we might ask ourselves, well, you just don't know what I'm going through. You just don't know what I'm going through. So that unwillingness prevents us from raising the veil, from reaching that higher understanding. I don't know about you, but I've heard that phrase, fake it till you make it. How many of us have heard that phrase before? Fake it till you make it. Well, that phrase may be powerful if we're completing a task or completing a job. However, our life is not a job. Our life is not a task. Our life is a purpose. It's a purpose that was placed in our hearts the day we were born and beyond that. And there is nothing fake about our purpose. There is nothing fake about God experiences. So, what if instead of faking till we make it, we can feel it to make it? Feel it to make it. In the last couple of weeks, I have had two major turning points in my life. One was the passing of my dad, who thought I was unworthy till the very last day, and the passing of my dog of 15 years, who believed I was worthy until her very last day. And so when you're experiencing those turning points, it's hard to fake it till you make it. We have to feel what we're going through so that we can make it through to a higher understanding. And so I asked those questions that George Carlin refers to in his quote. With my dad, we had adversarial experiences. However, a deeper understanding through that relationship was to ask, why not create something better? Even though I saw and experienced things with my dad, what I learned from him was the desire to learn what is possible, to create what is possible. And that is why I'm here. My dog, she taught me the why, to wonder beyond the ordinary things that she did. And I saw the extraordinary. And the extraordinary was the loyalty to what I believed, to the loyalty to the love that I believed. Why? Because God is right here in our heart. Our power is right here in our heart. And the reason why I'm sharing this is because we're going to have those moments where people or experiences might be adversarial. However, the gift behind that is that they're allowing us to clarify what we really do want. So if you felt rejection, what we really do want is acceptance, it's belonging, it's to be loved. And as Ted mentioned in his opening prayer, it's seeking hope when we're experiencing that despair. And that is power, the awareness that we have the power to create something better, and the awareness to believe in that power. And so as we think about our own lives, think about our own journey, we can apply these teachings. However, if we don't do the work to raise that veil, to have the willingness, it will be hard for us to feel that connection, to understand that our power is greater than anything in front of us. There's a great takeaway that I want for us to walk away with. And it comes from Emily Cady, who wrote the book, Lessons in Truth. Now, in her book, she says that we must let go of mental blockages. We must let go of our mental baggage. And what she refers to that mental baggage is resentment, it's worry, it's doubt, it's anything that might separate us from understanding our good. So here's a red flag. If you're complaining a lot, and you're not doing anything about it, then you're brewing resentment. And that resentment will lower the veil where we're not able to see our God experiences. And so, why hang on to those mental blockages when God is hanging on to you? When those God experiences start with you, start with the awareness that we are one with God, that we have the ability to tap into that infinite knowledge because we can experience it in our hearts. And I know raising the veil at times, it's difficult. I'm having a hard time this day. Some days I have that veil completely down because I'm still mourning, I'm still grieving, I'm still trying to understand why. There's also those days where I'm ready to lift that veil and understand why I'm really here. Why is it that I'm here? And why did I have these amazing two people in my life? I consider my dog a person because she's more than a dog to me. So, yes, two people. So, my dad and my dog, even though they were different experiences, they both led me to the greatness that I'm able to experience today, connecting with all of you and sharing a message, sharing a message in my spiritual home where I actually began, like Joseph said, to spread my wings and learn how to fly. I really am grateful for our community. I'm grateful for each and every one of you that allows these voices and diverse voices to speak every week. I am so grateful because that is the power of our understanding that God is everywhere. God is everywhere. And thank you. So it is.